Hi all, it's Yulianna Avdeeva here. It's Thursday again, 7:30 p.m. Central European Time, Munich, and it's time for our weekly stream. Tonight I will be moving to the D minor Prelude and Fugue from Book I, Well-Tempered Clavier, our Bach project. And afterwards I'm very much looking forward to talk about music of Johannes Brahms, and I will perform for you the A major Intermezzo from Opus 118. Hello Maria, hello Lars, hi Alex, great to see you, I hope you're all doing well. So tonight we are discussing the tonality which we have actually talked a little bit about already, that is D minor. We were talking about D minor in the session where we were talking about the Mozart Fantasy. Hello Masako, hello Alexis, hi. So it's, what we talked about already is that the D minor is a very dramatic, very rather dark tonality. Hi Geoff, hello Rafaela and Francisco. It's more on a dark side, and somehow it also has something mysterious, mystical, and even I would rather say something about the afterworld. So it's quite dark, yes, very, very intensive tonality. Hello Nathan, hello Takeshi, hi Wesley, greetings back to Taiwan. Hi, hello Jakub and Rolf, hi, great to see you, and Bob. So the D minor, of course, also in Bach's work was a very special tonality because he composed quite a few really significant, great pieces in this tonality. Hi Michael, hi Gabor, and hello to Armenia. I'm sorry I cannot read your name. Maybe you can spell it for me. That would be great. So it is. I was talking about the D minor, meaning of D minor tonality in Bach's work. So of course, one of the greatest pieces which he composed in D minor is of course the Violin Partita. Well, the famous chaconne from this partita is in D minor, and there was a certain circumstances, apparently, how he composed this piece, because he was on a trip, and he was away from home for a couple of weeks, and then he came back and he was told that his beloved wife passed away, and apparently soon after this the partita was born with the last movement chaconne. Razmik, thank you, great, thanks a lot. Hello, hi Eric, hi Sarah, hi Darinka, Isaac, hello. So it's really a very well, knowing this, it gives somehow already also a link to this tonality in a way, and of course the pieces like Art of Fugue is also based in D minor, or the wonderful harpsichord concerto, and it's something very unique about this this key. So this prelude and fugue I'm gonna discuss first tonight is also, it's not actually so easy even to describe, because there are many ways of approaching it, I would say. So hello Yuan, it is I think that there is actually a great contrast within the prelude and fugue. The prelude is written in a, I show you this in a score. It's for me it's very toccata-like. By the way, another great piece in D minor is the famous toccata and fugue for organ, which is of course indeed really such a powerful piece. And actually, the thing about the thing about also the organ prelude, you know what I mean. I'm talking about the. So basically, already there he uses this chromatic scale, which is actually very unusual for that time. Hi, Jacques, and hello, Tang. So this is the prelude. It's in a quite clear triplets. We have always a kind of pulse in the left hand, but I better show it to you here. So we have this pulse. It can be seen as a pizzicato in a bass. Can be also seen if you imagine a harpsichord as an imagination, as a inspiration. Then it's still a sound which exactly like a heartbeat. It comes and still there are some certain breaks within this pulse. So and then we have this. Actually not very quiet, in a way very eerie mood. But already within those triplets we have already here we have a wonderful example of counterpointal composition, because we have even here we have already two voices within those triplets. For instance, if I play two lines within those figurations which we can follow. So it's not only the bass line, but we also have some moving lines within those triplets, which is already a wonderful contrapuntal way of fighting how the voice is found. So you can choose whether you follow them. Up voice, or I would say I would rather go always with the voice which is moving. So because if you have something which repeats or remains on one key, it's not. I think it's if you have some other choices like moving voices, I will go for that. Then we have wonderful, very dramatic cadences. We have two with the. This is such a dissonance. This is already what I was talking about the prelude. About the toccata for organ. This is an extremely emotional, extremely powerful expression here. And then in the end of it, this is really wonderful. The very end is this chromatic line. It can be, if we hear it now, it can be from Liszt, it can be actually from Berlioz, and also Brahms is using this kind of cadences very often also for instance, in the first piano concerto. So this is actually absolutely great prelude, which I really, really very, very much like. Hello, Carolina, and hello, Mario, hello, Brigitte, and Thomas. So now coming to the fugue. The fugue is in three parts, so three voices. The subject here is already quite interesting, because now I am coming to a new point of my research, which is the ornamentation in Bach. So basically, sorry, basically the ornamentation, it is actually quite difficult field, I would say, because there are so many ways yeah, there are just so many signs which also with the time, the meaning of them or reading of them indeed changed a lot. So basically what we actually have, which is absolutely amazing, is here I have it. This is a table. This is a table. Do I show? Yeah, I think I show it now properly. Written by Johann Sebastian Bach himself for the Clavier Book I, and which explains actually basically the whole ornamentation, how he would like to or how they should be performed. So basically there were rules which have been clearly followed and known by many performers of that time. And hello, Marco. And the idea of ornamentation is actually an extra, an additional expression. It's not something which should be measured, should be played on time always. I mean, within the beat, but it's something very. It's a kind of improvisation actually. So the great masters of the Baroque time, they were also actually they were able to show their skills in this ornamentation. So there are actually many of ornaments haven't even been notated or written because it was a free choice of the performer how to play it. So here in this fugue we have a trill. We have a trill sign here in the subject already, and it is actually the let's say the challenging part of it is that once you have decided to play, and once you have an ornament in the subject, you have to play it in a similar way throughout the entire fugue. So you cannot, let's say, on difficult places, you shouldn't. Well, one shouldn't skip them. So it's once you have found your ornamentation in the subject, it should be repeated at least in the similar way in the throughout. And Bach apparently, because he was a great virtuoso, for him it was not really anyhow challenging to play a trill, and at the same time to have some other voice in the time or something. Здравствуйте, Olga Alexeyevna. Yes, so exactly. That's Danny. That's ornamentation and improvisation. That was the same, actually the same things. So before I'm again coming to talk, so this is this trill in this subject. From what I have understood, what I have read, and what I have now with some kind of knowledge, the trill should be played from the upper note and with termination. That's where the Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach is saying there is an essay, a wonderful piece of work by him, where he also gives some explanation on ornamentation. So he says that the trill, if possible, should be played with termination. Termination means the end, the additional end of the trill. And he also mentions it doesn't matter if whether it's written or not, but if there is enough time, there should be a termination. Of course, this is, to be honest, pianistically, this makes this kind of thing even more challenging, right? So the another thing in this subject is that we were talking that the ornamentation means expression. So this is hello Bettina. This is a rare case that Bach writes a staccato. You see this here on the B flat, and this means that the trill has a special great meaning, that it should be very well heard. So point is when we have a very long note, like, sorry, no, that's not what yes, here, this one, yeah, I have it, the B here. The B, it's a long note, and the long notes on harpsichords, that was not, well, they don't sound long, right? So it is, the rule was basically that the long notes are always played with the free ornamentation. Marco, you are asking whether the ornamentation does not disturb the voices' melodies. I think actually they are giving a certain expression to the voices, and I think it is. Yeah, of course, they should, on a modern piano, it's all sound a little bit different, because of course the touch, the action is much also, yeah, it's heavier, and basically the trill should not, of course, I think on a modern piano it shouldn't be too loud, but still it should be played in a can be played in a very great manner. To be honest, I remember how I hated trills, any kind of ornamentation, being a kid, because it was always too loud, it was always too ugly, actually, because you had to have very quick fingers for that and be always very careful, and I really, really hated it. So also the trills should be even and this kind of things. But I think once you have, for me, it is very inspiring to listen to some recordings on harpsichord, or to play a little bit by myself, because it gives you, it's a brilliant sound. It's a kind of real also virtuosity. It's something what I think it's enrichment, and for me it doesn't disturb. Hello to Hokkaido and to Torino. Hello, Ron, and greetings to Pittsburgh. So now I talked enough. I performed for you the Prelude and Fugue in D minor, Book I, Johann Sebastian and Fugue, Book I, Johann Sebastian Bach. Yeah, this is somehow a very, actually, it is a very unusual style which Bach uses here, because there are many dissonances also in the fugue. Yeah, with a great, actually, tension, with certain. It's not really. He's somehow searching for new. I think for some new also ways of expression, and this is also some in some subjects he's using also the inversion. So the subject is. I mean, moving in another direction. So this is, yeah, this somehow this one is again completely different, completely new. Yes, troubled mood is, yeah, in a way, yeah, right. Hello to Greece. So now we are actually done with D minor. D is D key. So next week we move to a completely new world. I think Kyoko was asking whether I'm transposing the preludes and fugues or preludes for myself. Actually, I'm not doing that. Sometimes, well, it's in the last session in the D major prelude, I just illustrated that how the mood of the piece changes when you move it to another tonality. So sometimes I do try some sections just for my own imagination, but not like on purpose and with everyone, with each one. Eric, about the pedal you're asking. Well, I think actually the ideal it is when I am able to, let's say, I try not to use the pedal in the places where I can play kind of pedal with my finger. So basically everything which you can keep on the keys, it's better to I think it's more appropriate, it's more in style if the right pedal is not really used like in romantic music. So basically everything can be played only with hands, so that really also that the voicing, that the voices are really kept only with the fingers. But I'm sure that there are, of course, there are places, and if you need it for a certain effect, that's why we play it also on a modern piano. So we should use everything what we have, every devices we have on the modern piano. So the pedal, of course, as well. Edition. Well, I play now finally the Bernreiter edition, but sometimes I have a look on other editions, on Busoni, on Busoni edition, and also sometimes have a look on some others. There are some Czerny, interesting. Well, Busoni is based on Czerny edition. There is the edition which I didn't see yet, but I know that it exists. It's, Bartók also made an edition of Well-Tempered Clavier, and that would be great, yeah, to have a look on that one day. Absolutely no pedal for Bach. Other shifts saying, yeah, why, yeah, but I think that in my memory, if I'm not mistaken, that also Andrew Schiff, who is of course a absolute great performer of Bach, in my memory, he also uses sometimes some pedal when he needs it for a certain effect, I assume. So, but basically, yes, it's better not to use too much pedal. So, coming to another composer, Johannes Brahms. Johannes Brahms. Yeah, that's. I was so excited to read your comments. To read your comments about your pieces which you admire, your not favorite but loved somehow. It's Brahms music somehow is this very, I think it's indeed very, very special, because on one hand it of course it is based on the tradition. He really was very much aware, and the knowing of the style of the works also of composers like Palestrina or of course Bach. He was actually also just 8 years old as he played his first Prelude and Fugue from Well-Tempered Clavier, and then as he met Robert Schumann and Clara also gave him a present. He gave him also the first book of Well-Tempered Clavier with some personal words in it. And actually Brahms was a great, he was collecting, it looks like it meant a lot to him also to collect the the autographs, the original manuscripts of first editions of Bach, Handel, Palestrina, and that was, he had apparently quite great great collection. So yes, and it is also now with for me also having look on the Well-Tempered Clavier, some things are really are getting even more clear. Well, Brahms, it was very important for him also to study the counterpoint, and I know that also being a young man, and as he just met his great friend Joachim, they also had a kind of deal that they were sending each other once a week. They were sending each other some contrapuntal studies, and the one of both of them which missed 1 week had to pay some one thaler as well, some certain amount of money which the other one could use for buying books. So finally, in the end, apparently Brahms bought much more books as Joachim did. So it means that Brahms was I think it was just too important to him also to, you know, to understand, to somehow to understand the tradition of the past, and based on them to build something new. Yes, Mike, I play the first concerto, the number 1 D minor concerto, which is of course, in my opinion, one of the most, well, it's such a great piece. It's a piece which of course, I mean, just as a knowing also in the background what kind of difficult piece it was for Brahms himself, how long it took him because he started first with the concerto as a sonata for 2 pianos, and that's very genuine. I think it explains also the personality of Brahms and also his music, that of course, as he met Robert Schumann and Clara, and as Robert Schumann gave such a high comment about his music, Brahms felt very much under pressure. He felt that the expectations on his music would be so high. So that's why he was very careful with all first works which he finished and published. So the work on the first concerto was very, very long, but actually this concerto is also very much, I think, for me personally, it has so many things connected, of course, with also with the Baroque style. I have even here the the score. But I mean, even this first the D minor, right? We were just talking about the D minor. Also the choice of the signature time. Well, he uses very often this 6/4 bar, which is very unusual. And then, of course, this sorry. Places, even the theme of the finale of the last movement. It could be also from Bach, I think, because of course it is. And this it's just. It has this very special energy, this very something very never compromising, but with a great dignity. And of course, the cadenza. That's how I came also to this concerto, playing the prelude, the D minor prelude is. Very similar passage like we have heard here. Very similar approach, but of course this amazing power. This, but at the same time very modest, very honest. I think this is something really absolutely. He's never, that maybe also that's why he was a kind of great opponent, or who was standing on the opposite side of the program music composers like Wagner or Liszt. Yes, that he was not really. He was a very different personality, I think. Right, Alexis. Yes, many. The first performances of the first concerto, of the D minor concerto, was a real two performances, or both absolutely a disaster. But I mean, of course, probably I never thought about that, but I would assume that was also one of the longest piano concertos written by them. By then, it's a really very very. It's like a rock. It's a huge piece. And that the people, of course, were not prepared for that. But anyway, Brahms was very, of course, he was, it was for him, he being already a kind of shy personality, that was a big stress for him, and he was, that caused some also personal problems, and maybe that's why it took him so long to compose the B flat major piano concerto, which is really a completely different style, a completely different piece. Yes, not quite the symphony. The idea was to compose a sonata for two pianos. Then he decided he had several versions then, but he was not sure about. You see, I think that all somehow gives a picture of him as a personality as well. So he was so. Being still very young, he was not sure that he would be able to make a great orchestration. So it's that's I find the orchestration here absolutely wonderful. It's it's an entire, it's a great orchestra with great sound, and alone this very beginning with this this motif in the beginning, which is apparently well, kind of expression, a feeling which he felt as he learned about the suicide attempt of Schumann. So it's really extraordinary dramatic piece for me. But of course, he composed also so many, so really, I would say even divine music. Of course, many of pieces are also connected with choir, with singing, with choral writing is another aspect of it. Also in the first concerto, in the second movement is a chorale, or the intermezzo where I'm going to play for you is of course there is one little section of this really divine section, chorale, and chamber music is so amazing. It's the violin sonata, the sonatas for violin and piano, cello sonatas, piano trios, piano quartets, piano quintet, and somehow, I really, I feel it's a very special mood when I perform his works. It is really, something you have to be very. I think it's important to be able to express yourself in a very pure, in a very honest way. And do you have, by the way, your favorite Brahms interpreters? Actually, anyway, I have a feeling, very sad feeling, but maybe please correct me if I'm wrong, that Brahms piano music is actually not so often played anymore. Of course, myself, I have to say also it's not. It's a while since I have played some piano pieces in his recitals by maybe that would be also an idea for me to play more Brahms. I see Radu Lupo already 2 times. Yes, and Zimmerman. You know why I'm laughing? Because probably indeed from the living pianists, from the living musicians, those two also for me are absolutely, it's I just searching for words what how I can express. For me, every performance which I have heard by Radu Lupo and Christian Zimmermann with Brahms is really will stay forever with me in my mind. I remember a couple of years ago I even went to Berlin as Christian Zimmermann was playing with Berlin Philharmonic, the D minor concerto, and I wanted to be there because of course I know his also recordings of the concertos, but I wanted to hear it live once, and I was so lucky to be there and to have to experience this concerto with him in Berlin Philharmonic. Glenn Gould, absolutely, Opus 10 ballads, amazing recording, so just so strong in expression, so outstanding. Serkin, basically great performer. Barenboim as well. Kovacevic, Arau, Elian Grimaud. Alexis, I see that Zimmermann should have been in concert. You're in Strasbourg, right? So he well, yeah, I hope that he will come later to, yeah, and you will enjoy his concert. So I play the Intermezzo now for you, and yeah, that's a great piece, actually, in a very, very light mood, in a good mood, in a sometimes it's also here, of course, it is very interesting to see it from also from a contrapunto or from this point of view, that it also has many lines which are sometimes moving also in a different time. For instance, even in the beginning, we have so many voices. We have here and the second. Every line is independent and have also its own phrasing, articulation, and it is sometimes it's really interesting to follow every single one. The middle part, the F sharp minor part, is absolutely wonderful. Absolutely, the dynamics is yeah, you see those tiram. So now I perform this wonderful intermezzo for you, opus 118. Divine A major intermezzo from Opus 118. Yeah, that's a great piece with long lines, with some short, the micro phrasing and great long phrases. So great pleasure to play it, but also great concentration, to be honest. So thank you so much for being here today. Next week we're moving to E flat key of Well-Tempered Clavier, the majestic tonality, and I had actually a great desire to being in E flat major tonality, then to share some thoughts with you on the eroica variations by Beethoven, especially also on the fugue. Thanks a lot, keep well, and see you next week. Bye-bye.